All right, we're live. I told you we'd have a really special treat. This has been a really exciting day. And I said that we would introduce you to our next face of Unconventional, our special correspondent. So, without further ado, it's Heather.
Hi.
So, Heather just finished filming with us. First time ever. She did horribly.
Terrible. They said that I can't come back.
They actually, they revoked her, took her cat card on the spot.
Yeah.
No, we're kidding, of course. She was great. But do you want to tell them what you did today? And I did very, very little. It was really her. It's a really cool episode. But go ahead. You want to explain?
You know what? I got to see the Navy's edition, essentially, of the UH-60 Blackhawk and their setup and how they do things. We also got to see them do some medical training on the beach, no less. So that was really nice. And it was just very, very cool to see the Navy's perspective and take on how they do things and how they train and how they run their aircraft.
And it was really cool to watch Heather, just in general, like just absolutely kill the interviews. I mean, just her comfort level around aircraft. Obviously, she put everything, one from the medics to the crew chiefs to the pilots. Like, just she knew her stuff, and they could tell, and it just really worked. Plus, San Diego's not a bad place to be right now, right?
It's not a bad place at all.
No.
And it was opening day yesterday. And so there's a lot of baseball fans out
Right.
here. And the weather is perfect. So, yeah.
So, I mean, questions, feel free to, put them up there. We'll try to answer them. But yeah, it was a really cool adventure. I think it's really good to have different faces and different perspective. Heather brings a perspective that really is unique. I mean, besides being a mom, besides being a PIO in the real world, like I said, she's also a Black Hawk crew chief, and you've probably seen her videos if you follow social media for on the military side. Does some really cool stuff. But what you may not know about Heather is that her actual career path kind of started in journalism, right?
So I did things a little bit backwards to some as I started my career path in journalism. And then at some point I decided I wanted to enlist. And that some point was actually at 35 years young. And it's been almost 5 years and it's been amazing.
That's pretty badass, right? To make a pretty significant career shift, but not just not just any career shift, to be like a Black Hawk crew chief. It's a pretty tough job. So I mean, kudos to her, but also, I think it gives her a level of credibility that is very unique. And yeah, we were thrilled to have her today. It was awesome. The weather was perfect. We were hoping to fly. We didn't get a chance. Maybe next time we'll get Heather on one of those birds. And but she did we got to see her try on the Navy's gear, which very similar.
Very similar to the Army's gear. And yeah, even the aircraft, very similar, but just I don't know, you're seeing all the ways that the Navy has their setup and the way that they do things. So it's very, very interesting.
It was. Chris. So Crystal is running this. You can't see her. She's like awesome. Are we getting any questions or are we getting nothing?
Let me go look, actually. I just can't see the questions through StreamYard. Yeah.
Okay.
So let me actually go take a look. Do you want to explain what we're doing to our Sunday?
Sure. So this is Heather's going to leave us, unfortunately, Saturday. I would love for her to take my place come Sunday. But Sunday we're leaving early to fly out to what's the ship called? The USS
Somerset.
So the Somerset, which is an LPD. It's an amphib. And we're going to fly out there for the day, spend about 24 hours there, and watch them do an Artemis rocket recovery. So Artemis is the next mission to the moon, and it's a NASA mission. So we'll watch the Navy collect the rocket components, what they call the article, which is the capsule, and there'll be some astronauts and recover it. It's gonna be really cool. So I mean, again, Heather got to see a bit. I mean, one of the things that was really interesting that you brought up, the difference between that SH-60 and what Heather flies in the medevac for the Black Hawk, is that the Navy's helicopter version of the same helicopter you fly has so many multi roles, right? Like
It absolutely. So with our unit, our company, whatever, our aircraft, it's set up specific to medevac. And then we have obviously another unit in the Army Reserve Aviation Command that may be set up for assault. So your mission is very specific to how your aircraft is set up. But in the Navy, they switch that bird out for whatever use they need. So They said last night they were actually they had put weapons on it to do some training, and then this morning they were switching it out for search and rescue training. So it's yeah, it's crazy how they change it to whatever the mission set is for that day. So
It's like generalist versus specialist, right?
mhm.
So I mean, it was interesting. I mean, um, it was cool to see it. It was really cool to see again the reaction. We'd love to hear. Can we put you on the spot? I'd love to hear what you think about. We'll put some. I'm sure clips will be coming out of Heather's performance and her work today, which is fabulous. We're again couldn't be happier. But what do you guys think? What would you love to like to see Heather do? We're talking about getting her in a dunker, a Navy dunker, so she can fly some of the Navy aircraft. Getting her back in a Navy 60.
I would love to try flying in the 60,
Yeah.
the Navy's the SH-60. The Dunker tank for sure. And then I'd love to be around some other aircraft.
Yeah, I mean, we should put her in F-18, I think. If you can get the dunker,
Yeah,
I think you'd be qualified to
why not? Why not?
do a fighter jet, right? I
Why
mean,
not?
perfect. Anything? Nothing. Please tell me people are watching this.
Oh, 252.
250, all right.
Oh, no questions?
No questions,
That's okay,
really?
though.
Nothing? You got nothing?
No.
Um,
Just a good day though too. One thing that I loved highlighting, and because I am a maintainer, so as a UH-60 Blackhawk maintainer and crew chief for the Army, is your role specific is not just crewing the aircraft. It is also maintaining the aircraft. So you're handling the pre-flights and you're handling um, PMDs, which is preventative maintenance dailies. But the Navy, their crew chiefs don't do that.
really?
They don't. No, they have a whole team that handles the maintenance. But the crew chief is essentially there again just for crewing. They do the pre-flights, but that's it. They don't handle the maintenance.
Different strokes for different folks, I guess.
It's fine by me.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's always interesting that, you to the average person, the aircraft look, I mean, they're for all intents and purpose, they're identical, right? Like in terms of the physical structure, there are differences, obviously, but it's like the Coast Guard version, the Air Force version, the Army, the Navy's, they're all based on the same platform. But there are significant differences. One of the things, do you want to talk a little bit about, we learned about there's the Sierra version, which we saw today?
So the Sierra version actually, so it can fit on some of the ships, and I'm going to say
The Romeo version.
yeah, the Romeo version, but the tail folds.
Yep.
And then the blades also fold, so
Yep.
that way they can obviously condense it in size.
And they're like the middle wheel, which is in the back on the Romeo, is like further forward where
The
yours.
tail wheel, yeah, so the
Yes.
tail wheel is forward, so that way the tail can fold. But on the other model, it is all the way back, just like the UH-60 Blackhawk. So if you geek out about aircraft, then these things are very, very interesting to you.
I mean, I know aviation nerds are gonna be all over this. I'm sure we'll get some things wrong. I'm sure someone will correct us on some.
It's okay, correct me.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with that.
You can correct her, but she's still flying a Blackhawk, so I mean, who's winning? I'd say it's her.
Yeah.
Somebody said incredible. Somebody asked, can you recap? I just joined what she does.
Everything.
Mhm.
It'd be shorter to tell you what she doesn't do. No, so Heather is a Army Reserve Black Hawk crew chief, and we were lucky enough to get her to come as an unconventional Newsweek special correspondent today. So Heather actually came to Naval Air Station North Island, or NASNY, and she got to film with the Navy's equivalent of her aircraft. Is it the H-60 Sierra? Which is essentially, I don't want to say it's a Black Hawk, but it is the same 60 derivative, just a Navy version. So
Very similar, yeah. Yeah.
we're really excited to have, like I said, we're trying to expand to different faces and voices to bring a different perspective, to be able to cover more, to get more content out to you sooner and faster. And what better person to start with than Heather?
It was fun. It was
It was fun.
very, very busy, very packed, very good day.
Can you tell them, maybe people might be interested to learn, this is the first time you ever shot with us. What was it like to film with us? Like maybe give them a little bit of a taste of what it's like to do this. It's a lot of work.
Okay, so just like a lot of individuals don't recognize all the work that goes into maintaining the aircraft and keeping it ready to go, there is a team that maintains Naveed
Oh,
and keeps
of
him
course.
ready to go. Preventative maintenance, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
But no, there's an amazing crew.
Yes.
You've got essentially three camera men and women who are making sure that they get all the angles, and they're also ensuring that that we're saying things right and asking all the questions, and they just really keep this boat afloat.
Yeah, we were doing this from 8:30 to what is it, 3 p.m., almost 3 p.m.
Almost 3 p.m.
So it's.
He hasn't fed me yet. So.
I know. It's trying to get every ounce of creativity out of her.
Yeah.
So
She said, "We love some multifaceted awesomeness. Great job."
yay!
Yeah. She said,
Multifaceted is what that should be like your call sign.
I don't know. I try to do too much, but
she says, "Where can we find you on social media?"
Heather.
yeah, you can find me at Heather_Brent. So Heather Brent on all of my social media platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Ooh. Oh, somebody said, "What branch are you both in?"
I was Navy. I'm not in this military anymore,
He was Navy.
but
I'm Army Reserve in the aviation. So I am in the ARAC, which is Army Reserve Aviation Command. I fall under them, and a UH-60 Black Hawk crew chief and maintainer. I enlisted. I've said this again and again. I
this is
enlisted
wild.
very late in the military. I enlisted at 35 years old during COVID, when so many people, either lost jobs. I lost my job, had no idea what I was going to do next, had always wanted to enlist. And I decided to make that leap because I felt like what else could I lose? And so I did, and it has been one of the best decisions that I ever made.
That's a great story. I mean, I think it's a testament to a couple of things. One, I mean, to Heather herself, but also this idea that, if people have second, third, fourth careers, right?
Probably,
you're
yeah.
probably on to two more at some point. I mean,
No, I'm too tired.
she got at least four more in her.
Maybe, yeah. No, I just think that there is never an age limit, and so many people have said that prior, but there really is no age limit to, if you really want to do something, do it, go after it.
And I want to just give a shout out to, you said the ARAC, which is the Army Reserve Aviation Command. If you watched our Mount Rainier episode, that is one of the first episodes we filmed with the ARAC. So that was Chinook's different platform out on the West Coast at Joint Base Lewis McChord. We flew up to Mount Rainier. So similar, same command, different platform. But again, we love, honestly, filming with reservists and the Guard. It's something I'll say over and over again. They're just one of the really cool things about the reserves and the Guard is people like Heather. I mean, you get people who have a second career, so they haven't like gone from high school to active duty or from college to active duty. Nothing wrong with that, but when you have someone who enlists at 35 and has had a whole career up until this point, it brings a different perspective and skill set, which is so important. And I think again, that's what makes Heather such a great talent in what she did today. I mean, it's really important to have those different perspectives.
I appreciate that, and I know there's so many throughout the military who
Yeah,
are the same way,
absolutely.
who have lived a life, who have done a career, had a different career, and completely diverted and enlisted. And then on the opposite end of it too, those who have enlisted and now are out in the workforce, just
Yeah,
different flavors.
totally.
Yeah,
So we have
Someone said, "Will Heather be joining again?"
I hope so.
no.
I hope I hope I will be joining again.
She's taking my job.
No.
That's all I was saying the entire time. They're like, "How is she doing?" I'm like, "She's taking my job." No, yeah, we really want to bring her on to do some more stuff. There's definitely some follow-ons, and I just again, yeah, we're super excited to try to make this work.
Maybe
Go ahead.
maybe I can go train with the SEALs next
Yeah,
year.
we can put her with SEALs.
Someone said, "How can I join you, Naveed?"
I guess maybe you have to become a Chinook crew chief. I don't know. What do we? What should we go for next?
47s.
That's pretty good.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah. One of the greatest stories I heard from a Chinook crew chief was, if you're around like military, but especially aviation, like 8 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10, eventually the conversation goes to like bathroom stuff. And I heard a Chinook crew chief tell me that one of the most skillful things he saw was a soldier poop in a Pringles can.
Oh, why? No.
And I was like, that's pretty impressive.
I mean, if you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah. I mean, it's so maybe there's something over the Chinooks. In all seriousness, though, we are looking for other voices to kind of round this out. I think Yeah, so why don't you tell us what kind of stuff do you guys want to see? I think the idea is that with Heather and like having correspondence, we can do big stories, but in a smaller package, which makes it easier for us to edit it and get it out. Again, just I'm sure Heather can talk about this, but it's a lot of work. It's not the filming might be 1 or 2 days, but it's like months of work up, months of editing. It's really hard. So
To film with the military.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. You know this.
Even today was like filming with the military. It's a challenge, right? Like there's a lot of bureaucracy. I know that might surprise a lot of you, but tons of bureaucracy.
But we got it done.
We did get it done.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's coming in yet, but so far,
Cool.
so good. Yeah. Do you want to end it, or you want to
Yeah,
wait
well,
a little bit for more questions?
Yeah, and we'll give it a couple more minutes if you guys have, because we all want to eat. We're all really tired. Is there anything you want to say?
No, you were supposed to feed us.
Oh, I didn't say I wasn't going to. It's not just you. It's also we've got 2 other people we have to
I
feed.
know, I'm kidding.
They're all probably waiting. They're probably watching this to see when we're done. So we
Yeah,
all eat.
they're in the lobby.
That's right. They're like, God damn it. They're gonna send them. Like, when are you feeding us?
So funny.
All right.
Anything else? When do you think we'll be able to show this? Maybe that's a big question. The episode that Heather just filmed.
Someone said, "Awesome job, y'all. I will be watching more often." What would I say?
So it depends if Crystal's gonna be lazy or not. She's so lazy.
Oh,
Yeah, guys.
She like if listen, any episode that you want to see that hasn't come out, completely her fault. Just send all the complaints her. Actually, that's not true. We actually have like an editing team that works on this. It's actually hard, and I will give you a little bit of the peek behind the curtain. Just some of the back and forth. Like we're getting our B1 episode out, and just some of the things that we have to, as the military reviews it, that we have to change because of national security and things like that. Those things take time. So um, these. It's like producing a TV show. So yeah, that's probably why it takes so long.
Bone episode. We're patiently
I knew someone was gonna ask about the P1. We're trying to get it out. It is right now. We have. I guess I can say this. We have notes from the Air Force that we have to like make the episode reflect. So it's the final stages. If you're at Ellsworth Air Force Base, April 8th, 7th, no 7th, April 7th, we will be doing a premiere at the AFES theater. There's like 3 showings. I know they're expecting between 600 and 700 people. Couldn't be more excited to show this episode live. And then the next day, it's going to be at a Black Hill Symposium. So chance to see it live in person in a couple weeks. Hopefully, the episode will release shortly thereafter.
Husband flies at Ellsworth. What is it? Oh, husband flies at Ellsworth. Met you when you were here. We're excited. I know Air Force PAs.
Yes,
Yeah.
we love flying with some of the best crews. It was just a really chill group of people. Such an amazing episode. I want to shout out to the crew. It was Strafe, Glee, and Thad. Those were our 2 pilots and our Wizzo. And man, I mean, they just made everything look easy and such a cool job and such a cool airplane. I mean, you got to see F-18s today.
I love it. Like, I don't know how anybody ever gets tired of like aircrafts, or if you see them out flying,
Yes.
you're just, I have to like stop and look, and then
I,
when you do get to fly, like I just can never get tired of it.
I mean, it's such a cool job that she has. I've asked this to air crew, pilots, anyone who like physically works on an aircraft, like in flight, and or flies on one. And I've never had a different answer than this. I always say, and I ask you, does it ever get old? Everyone is like, look, the Air Force, the Marines, the Navy, whatever, it can get challenging, but the flying, when you're actually flying, it's like
When all the work is said and done,
Yeah.
and like you're up in the sky and you see a sunset or just the view, and it's amazing.
I mean, got to do it a little limited. Yeah, it's a lot of work even for us to get in there, and when you're actually up there, it's pretty freaking cool. Like all the nervousness, all the like anxiety kind of goes away. Just
Yeah.
always a giant. Crystal got to fly the first time in a medevac,
So fun.
and I was watching her the whole time, and she just had this giant grin as we're like going like this, and
I know why you love it.
she's like she's hooked, absolutely hooked.
So amazing. Someone said, "Hi, I really like the jackets. Maybe can you show me those patches?"
You want to pet?
Show him.
All right, you want to? You take it up.
Grab him.
We gave. So Heather was gonna get a badge and a gun, and I don't know if you know this, but we're allowed to legally.
Badge and a gun.
We're legally allowed to carry them as a newsweek. No, we're not. But she has her. Yep. And then you want to show the other one?
Yeah, this one's super cool.
So actually, the second one was made by an Air Force veteran who has a small business, and yeah, they came out really well. I think, Crystal, what do you say? We should probably make these so people can buy them.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, we should. Do you want to pass me the leather jacket? Sorry, my leather jacket here. So this is, people have been bugging me about getting a leather jacket, and I found one. See, really cool name tape.
Like official.
Yeah.
Super official.
So this stuff is, I mean, so it says Spirit 820, which is when you fly a B2, if you're like Gucci like me, they give you a unique number.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm the 820th person to fly in a B2
Wow.
in 30 years. So it's pretty, these things, listen, I have a, I'm not going to lie. I have a pretty cool job with that. There's a lot of work as Heather can see
Oh, yeah.
and Crystal can tell you, but the flying and that stuff is just, I'm really grateful you guys follow this because that allows me to do really cool, unique things like flying a B2 or a B1 and hanging out with people like Heather.
They said aviator approved.
2 thumbs up.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Awesome. Someone asked, Heather, have you ever flown on any other aircraft?
Sadly, I have not gotten the opportunity to fly on it.
47?
Oh my god, I forgot. They're gonna get, if anybody's watching this, if any of my
So bad.
guys are watching this, sorry.
Blocked it.
I did, yeah. Okay, so the 47 is. If I say this, I'm gonna be judged, but I think I might like it better than the UH-60.
Well, because there's something
I
about
like crewing the UH-60, but I love just flying on the tail of a 47. Like
sitting on the
it's-
ramp is really cool.
on the ramp. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. Sorry. Oh my god, I'm gonna get criticized.
No,
for too.
So
But yeah, sitting on the ramp. So I've was in Malaysia for the military this last summer.
yeah,
And where I was mostly in the 47 and I fell in love with it.
it's a really, can you cross platform?
You can.
But you have to go to a different command.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the thing about
Her school.
yeah.
Just the schooling. Yeah.
the thing about the 47 that's really cool from a non-aviator is the fact that there's something about like the vibration that can like totally put you to sleep.
Yeah.
But it's so loud you cannot fly in that thing without ear pro.
It's I mean, any of them.
Yeah,
really
yeah.
can,
But the 47, there's something about it that's like insanely.
sound of freedom.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Okay, so you flew on the 47. You prefer crewing or riding in the 47 than the Black Hawk, right? I
I
don't.
prefer crewing the Black
Black
Hawk. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna leave that. But I really enjoy
Yeah.
the 47.
So I know no one asked me, but I'm just gonna volunteer. My favorite.
Wait, sorry. Naveed, what is your favorite?
So my favorite, hands down, is the Marine Huey.
Really?
Yes, and that is something for 2 reasons. One, it is one of the most iconic aircraft.
Okay.
But 2, as a passenger, the seating positions when they open the doors. So the problem with the 47 from a passenger standpoint is the views are only good out of the back. There's really like you have those.
Yes, absolutely.
Same thing with the 53. The Black Hawk and the various derivatives, you can kind of see out the window, but they usually don't fly with the doors open that often, right?
We do.
You do? Okay, maybe not for us because we're not special enough. Like they actually do it for their real job. But the Marines, I've sat in that Huey with like my feet out, the doors open, and the seating. They can just configure the seats in so many different ways when the doors open. It's just such a cool. It's such an iconic thing, and they always fly with a Cobra. So not only do I get a great view out the door, I get to look at a Cobra flying next to us the whole time.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, cool.
Someone asked, how are you able to do all of these things that you do?
Me well, so I'm a journalist for Newsweek. I'm actually an editor at large, and about so essentially it's my job, right? So I'm not an influencer, but I'm a journalist. So the being a journalist, and that's why Heather we brought her on as a special correspondent, really important. Being associated or part of a news outlet makes it gives us access to things that influencers can't do. There are certain influencers that we all know whose name we won't uh, mention, but there's a difference between an influencer and a journalist. And like today, the fact that you were essentially you're a journalist.
Yeah.
It's a totally different access and the way that they treat you. And so the short answer is I'm an editor at large at Newsweek, and that affiliation allows me to do this.
Good. Nothing coming in.
What do you want to? Okay, if you had to choose something else that you want to fly, what would you want to fly? As a passenger, not as a.
Well, yeah. As a passenger, um, just something high speed.
Yeah, you need to go in a
Something high
jet.
speed. I want to go in a jet.
Totally
Absolutely.
different. Totally different.
Yeah.
Perspective.
Fly with the Blue Angels.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, we could put you. So, can I give them?
Here's my ask.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No. I'm sorry to Blue Ant. Go ahead.
Okay. If I had the opportunity, wink, wink, to fly with the Blue Angels, that would really make my life.
I think I got to tell you, this is gonna sound super snooty, but like flying in the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds is like pretty easy to do if you're like with press because they actually have they as part of their directive they have to give press flight.
Yeah.
What the cool thing though is that with those jets you don't wear G suits.
Interesting.
So it's like really really hard. And one of the things we want to do, and we are really interested in racing a Blue Angel in a car.
Oh.
So it's something we're debating, see if we can do. So maybe put you in the back of the Blue Angel and we'll get someone else to drive a certain sports car
That'd be cool.
that is historically raced Blue Angels. I'll just let that. There's been a history of that car racing Blue Angels. They always lose, but it's still a pretty cool video.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't understand this language, but I think it's saying thank you for all that you do.
You're welcome.
It says thank you. Yeah, nothing coming in yet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're gonna get. It's time to eat. It's been a long day.
You
So.
have to feed the crew.
That's right. It's like actually Crystal's gonna pay. Crystal, can we just give? All right, so I'm a veteran. She's still a current reservist, but I want to give a shout out to Crystal. So many of you may not know this, but Crystal, who does her social media herself, is a military spouse, and it's really you can speak to this. I know I can, but military families. I think it's important for people to understand that it's if you're in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. You rely on that safety net of that family.
Mhm.
And so when you deploy, your family is kind of deploying with you in the sense that, now they have to take care of the home, the kids themselves. It's a lot that we ask of families. So just, we feel very strongly that it's important to have that representation, but also it's important to acknowledge people like Crystal that and her husband, it's being a military family no matter where I go, what branch, you talk to a lot of people that have families. It can be really hard on them, and it's a really challenging thing. So you can support the troops, but you also have to support the families because
Absolutely.
without supporting the families, that military readiness just goes out the window.
Absolutely.
So
Well, thank you, Naveed.
you're still paying for dinner.
There's also April is month of the military child.
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And as a single mom, yeah, my kids sometimes are like, we love that you serve, but we hate that you have to leave sometimes.
It's hard,
So,
right?
yeah.
We were talking about this before. Do your kids are they impressed by anything you do?
Not to me, but like they'll
brag to other
they'll
people?
brag to their friends. But like they definitely they don't they're like, oh cool mom. And it's like just another thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Kids are like
In the future, they will
Yeah,
be
they
like,
will-
"Wow,
yeah.
what
I
a
hope
badass."
so. Yeah.
they will. They'll remember. It'll definitely imprint. They just will never admit it to you.
Yeah. Maybe they will.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think we're good. Someone said, huge fan.
Yay!
Can't wait for more episodes.
Awesome.
Can't wait to get them.
Can't wait for Heather Brent's episode.
It's never coming out. It's only going to come out if Crystal isn't so lazy. I think we've covered that. She's not even, she didn't even believe me. She's like, there's not even an ounce of believability in that. She's laughing the minute. We have a small team, but it's mighty.
Small but mighty.
Yeah, right.
All right, we had 606 viewers.
Sweet.
Right now.
Well, thank you for tuning in. And now the avalanche of social posts of Heather from today will be everywhere.
Will be out.
Everything will just be
Yep.
coming on out.
That's right.
Yep.
All right.
Maybe.
If
She's
Crystal isn't
lazy. Yeah. Bye.
Cool. Okay, cool.
Cool.
Do I need to leave this? It says that's still